Next year, in 2024, we will fully enter the presidential race. We will see the likes of Ron Desantis, Biden, RFK Jr., and Trump all get on their preferred platform, be that a podcast, be that a news station, be that Twitter, and try to sell us on why they are the one to be in charge of this country. But there is one thing that we, the potential voters, must keep in mind when we go to the polling place. Because without this number one fact at the forefront of your mind, you might be bamboozled into thinking that they can deliver on all their promises. Politicians come in all shapes and sizes, ideas and backgrounds, but there is one thing that they all want. Be it the local mayor of a town of 200 people, or somebody running for president of the United States and all the in-betweens that you have thereof. They are up there telling you how they have the answers. Whatever it is that you, Mr. John, Jane, whoever you are, has going on in your life, they are the ones that can make it better. This just happened at Bitcoin Miami. There were people talking on Twitter about how RFK changed their view of politicians, how RFK Jr. is the one that is going to get them to vote for a president for the first time in many years. People were saying how they had tears in their eyes. They couldn't believe that somebody like this has finally come along to lead the country to the golden light in which it deserves. That golden light, that promised land. And the best thing about it all is that he's a Bitcoiner. He understands what Bitcoin means. No, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think RFK Jr. fully understands Bitcoin. I do not believe Ron DeSantis fully understands Bitcoin, because Ron DeSantis says things like doing Bitcoin. I don't even know what that means. Do you know what that means? I don't think anybody knows what that means. I'm going to play you a clip here of RFK Jr., and this should help remind you of this one point that we all need to keep at the forefront of our minds.
Are you solidly for Hillary, or are you more anti-Trump?
No, I'm solidly for Hillary. I think Hillary is going to be a very, very good president.
You're also very close to Bernie Sanders, are you not?
Yeah, both Bernie and Hillary are long-term friends, and, I'm a big admirer of Bernie's. I'm very, very happy that he ran. I think all of my children were supporting him, and but now we're all going to be working as hard as we can for Hillary.
RFK Jr. wasn't interested in anything other than helping his friends when Hillary was running against Trump. Did you notice how Larry King asked that question as well? He said, are you more pro-Hillary or are you more anti-Trump? You're kind of asking a similar question in the same way. I played you that clip because I'm hoping that you will come to the conclusion that I'm going to spell out for you towards the end of this. It's that one thing I keep on mentioning that all politicians want, and RFK wants this just as much as any other politician that we have ever met. Every single politician wants this. And when Robert Kennedy Jr. was on stage at Bitcoin Miami 2023, I guarantee you, when he was trying to weave his word magic and woo the crowd, this was at the forefront of his mind. Before I reveal what that is, I'm going to play another clip here. Here he is talking about energy, and while I'm no expert on energy, there's a few things that he mentions here that just don't match up with reality in my mind whatsoever.
And I'm all for nuclear power if you can ever make it safe and efficient. It's not safe. And if it were safe, they would get an insurance policy. It's not a bunch of hippies in tie-dye t-shirts that's saying it's not safe. It's guys in ties and suits from the AIG and Lloyd's of London who are saying your industry is so risky that we will not even consider writing you an insurance policy.
Is that
now,
really
is it
why?
economic? No. The last, I think, 2 plants built, one of them costs $9 billion per gigawatt. Yep. The other costs $16 billion per gigawatt. The solar plant costs $1 billion a gigawatt, and then you get free fuel forever.
No.
So the wind and the sun are free. No. A wind plant costs about $1.2 billion a gigawatt. So a new plant is 15 times what a wind or solar plant. And the nuke plant, people say, well, it's variable outage, variable power. You're not getting the power all the time. The same with the nuke plant. The nuke plant have outages all the time.
Now, like I said, I am not a nuclear expert, but from what I understand, what he just said there is not accurate at all. I'm not sure what kind of time frame he's talking about here. If he's talking about a week after being in operation, a nuclear power plant costs way more than a week of a solar power plant, he might be accurate. I don't know. But what he's not accurate about is that it's free forever. Things break down. Solar panels get covered in dust and grime and snow, and they have to be cleaned off. There's this image that we've all probably seen around, where it shows a helicopter running on fossil fuel, that's inarguable, spraying a chemical made from fossil fuels onto a wind turbine made with fossil fuels, turning an ice storm is awesome. That's what this guy's here says. According to this article, this is from a Swiss helicopter company, and no chemicals were used, as if that makes this any better. somehow that lessens this. Okay, that is kind of neither here nor there. What's inarguable is that this helicopter is definitely running on fossil fuels and that this entire machinery was made using fossil fuels. That's inarguable. What's also inarguable is that they're doing something here. It looks like de-icing it, but whatever the case is, they're using fossil fuels on a machine that requires this to be done for whatever reason. The reason I'm making this video is because I want you to remember this one thing. I need this to be at the forefront of your mind. This is the one thing that all politicians want. They want your vote. They want to get into a position of power. And once they are, there's a really good chance that they forget all of those promises that they made, because when you make so many promises, it's hard to keep track of all of them. I feel like this is the makings of a BuzzFeed article. You won't believe this one thing that all politicians want. Well, the one thing that they all want is your vote so that they can get into a position of power and do whatever they well please. I don't believe I have ever met a politician, somebody like Ron Desantis or RFK Jr. So all I have to go off of knowing them is what they say online and what other people say about them online. That's the closest I'm going to get to them. But the one thing I do know for a fact of all these people is that they want to be president of the United States. Either they or the parties that control them want that person in the White House so they can push their agenda forward. And that agenda, whatever it is, and you and I probably don't really know the full of it, does not include you, because you don't exist to them as anything other than a vote to get them into that position that they so covet. That is all they want. That is all you are to them. There is only green versus orange. The crumbling green of fiat, the disgusting filth, the slime that green represents, or the golden, bright orange that is Bitcoin. And do not believe what a politician says. Do not trust them. You must verify. And the only way that we have to verify what a politician is all about is by going off of their track record. And if you see them say one thing one year and something completely different another year, you can be reminded of that one fact that I have said so many times throughout this. All they want is your vote. So do not be bamboozled into thinking that somebody is pro Bitcoin, because all they are is pro your vote.